Here we have Polygon symbol MATIC versus the dollar, and we have hit our target from the 2 days prior at about the 192 region. We're not really seeing any indication of bounce right now, so that is starting to make me think that this one will see lower over time. And by lower over time, I do mean somewhere in the mid 160s. That is also a weekly, no, it's actually not a weekly region right here. The weekly region is much lower than that, to be fair, at about 150 or so. But I do think that that would be a very aggressive call to be making it, especially at this time. So short term, do I think it's ready? It's going to be set up for a bounce relatively soon. Probably yes. But just like a lot of the other charts that we looked at today, there's really not much to call in terms of reversal in the same case as what we saw yesterday. In fact, we saw that bounce yesterday, bring it right to the area, right to the fucking area on a closing basis, like literally to the T actually right there. But did not close above 118.5 or 119. And in this case, just another lower high. So as long as you're below there, even the lower term timeframes are, just lower highs the whole way through. I wouldn't be calling any sort of reversals based upon that. So short term, if it bounces, any sort of bounce back up into the 205 to 210 region is fine, but that's likely setting up for another drive lower. So that's kind of a long way of saying as long as you're below about 218.5. I do have a hard time of being bullish on something like this. 5-day, which just closed yesterday, kind of representing more of the higher term timeframes right here. You do see a bit of a head and shoulders going on as well. And we do see another drive of regular bearish divergence confirmed, actually on the closure prior to this, or sorry, yes, on yesterday's closure. So probably I'm looking for this one to play down somewhere around about 160-ish region, give or take 5 cents from that area. And then I want to come back to that. I would not call a macro low there just yet. Obviously, that's going to need to be encompassed by the whole market itself, but that that could be a major area of interest right here on the daily. Stochastic momentum is nosediving below 2.25. So yeah, I do think that this one has a little bit more low side to go. 5 days nosediving as well below 266. I think that this one very likely does head a lot lower, actually 258 for the weekly. So short term, you're probably going to see your bounces here and there. In fact, the 4-hour stochastic just turning down right now as well below 195. So maybe this one heads further south first before even a short-term time frame bounce. But if you're specifically asked about long-term, which it sounds like you are, I do think that this one will eventually see somewhere around about 160, give or take 5 cents, within the next probably within the next month or so. That's an area where I do think you might see a major, potentially even macro low. Then again, I look at the monthly right here, and difficult chart right now, so I think I'd wait for that before speaking anything more about the very long term, and then hopefully that was helpful. And there you go for Polygon, sir.